just bring them up and back. Good morning, everyone. We have a visitor today, straight from Ireland. So yeah, this is Michael from Flockwatch. You've heard me talk about him relentlessly. He is actually going to just do some tutorials with me today and take me through 3 potential uses of what I would use my software for the sheep. So my first one is always lambing. So I'm going to we're going to scan a ewe and go through like what a lambing setup would look like. And then we're going to go through and do like a ewe evaluation. So if I'm deciding whether I want to ship a ewe or keep a ewe, I want him to show like what steps I would take if we're doing that. And then the third one is sort of new, is the breeding group.
Yeah, exactly.
And then he's going to show me what the app can do for me to organize my breeding groups. And then you guys can get a good feel for what I'm kind of looking for in the Flockwatch. All right, so I'm going to screen record what we're doing here so you guys can actually see. So we're going to scan this ewe. We're going to start with lambing.
Perfect.
Let's start with the lambing group. So we're going to
lambing.
pretend this lady just had twins. We're going to say.
Yeah, absolutely, yeah.
I guess we can't scan the lambs, but we'll get it to you. So we're going to scan mom.
And
we're going to record task against animal, right?
Exactly.
And then we're going to go lambing record.
Yep.
So say say this is winter.
Yeah.
So we'll just put her winter 2023,
Winter 2023,
even though that's
yeah.
next year. And then lambs born, she had 2, right?
Exactly.
And then we're going to go next.
Uh-huh.
So how do I change this lambing number? Because she'd be actually number 1.
So you can go in and physically change the lambing number
so
like that. So 1.
Leave the number sign.
Exactly, yeah. You leave the number sign there, and then you just press 1.
And then next.
And next, and then.
And then the gender would be whatever. So we'll just say she had a female. It's alive. That's when we would scan the tag, but we don't have the lamb.
Exactly.
So we're just going to pretend. It's the number 1 ewe that had the first lamb, is what lambing number means. And then the season born was winter, date of birth was today. And then breed could be whatever. You can add an image of her if I wanted to. You could put in the sire.
You can.
But I probably won't because I don't know what group it is. But that's where I would put like group 1, group 2, group 3. And then I put the weight of the lamb and then the vigor. Should we just do that?
Yeah, sure, yeah.
So they can see. So, oh yeah, kgs. What would a 10-pound lamb be? 5 kgs, say?
Yeah, well, we're going to have it it's going to be editable basically. You can have kgs or pounds.
We can have pounds.
Yeah, we can, yeah, of course.
We can have pounds, guys.
Yeah.
Okay, good. As the rest of the world is like, okay, good for you. All right, so I'll just say 5 for now. And then there's lamb vigor, and then if the lamb is really good and active, I'd put very good. Rearing, she's a good mom, we'll say, so they were normal, and none of them were bottle fed. So now we go next, and then it's lamb number 2, and we do the same thing for lamb number 2.
Exactly. Or if lamb number 2 had died, you can just put in status dead, and you can see 1 lamb, and you can put in a note at the bottom to say what happened to the lamb.
Right. Oh, right. I never did do that either. There is notes here at the very bottom, guys, and I can write in, say, baby week, watch, or something, right?
Exactly, yeah. And
it's raining in here, so it's... And then just press save, or should I just erase everything now?
you can just leave it like that. You can erase everything, but save it then at that stage, and it will.
And then fill in gendered. Wanted a gender. So some of these things you have to put in, and we'll say he's a boy. Okay. And then it's got all the lambing details of this ewe.
Yes, exactly.
Okay.
So then basically, when you are picking that ewe out next year, or you can scan the tag, look at her profile, look at the history, and you can see her lambing record underneath that then in the history of the year.
Actually, we could do that right now. We could check and see if she's got pedigree, because she might be in this group from September. So now I would go to history or progeny?
History of her.
So that's today.
And you can see her lambing from last year.
And she had lambing task last year. So then would I click progeny to see how many lambs she's had?
Exactly, yes.
Okay, what am I looking at here?
So we can see from last year, you can see, okay, so these are the last 2 lambs born, and these are the ones from 4 months ago. And sorry, she had a single last year, and then the year before that she had single as well.
Okay.
21 months ago, so you can see the difference.
So she's really only given me singles up to this year.
Exactly.
And she's having twins, because I'm manifesting that right now. Okay, perfect. Good girl. Next, we're going to do an evaluation. Okay, so I'll scan the tag.
Yeah, and the next thing you'll do is you look at...
So yeah, what will I do here?
You look at her profile then. So you can
view animal profile?
View animal profile, yeah.
Okay.
Potentially if you had issues with this one last year, you'd have changed her animal type from breeding you to in cull. So
okay, but what if today is the day I'm deciding?
Today's the day you're deciding.
What do I look at?
First thing you want to look at is history.
Okay.
History here. So you can see anything she's been treated with, if she got extra injections for lameness or things like that. And then if you look at her details, then if you go through him, we have management details, we have ID. So in management here, then if you had put a note in to say something happened at lambing time, that would appear here, and you'd say, oh right, I know this one. She had prolapse or something happened to her. You can see the detail and the date you put it in for lambing, and then you can say, right.
So actually in this one, because I had to switch back to the Gallagher in the last lambing group, this is one that aborted her lamb early. So she had Q fever. Okay. So in that case, that would be under management. I'd probably write that in a note somewhere. Because I wrote it in my notes on the Gallagher. So same idea, I would write it in the notes here.
You could write in the notes here, but also you perform a lambing task even though the lamb was aborted.
Right, which I did there.
And you could just say, exactly, and you can say the lamb has been aborted.
So my biggest thing is, when people ask me what I want, when I'm actually working with the animals, I want to be able to bring my office down here. So when I'm spending time up there, I'm going through all the information, what he's talking about. Like I'm going through their notes. I'm going through like how many progeny she's had, how many have died, how many, like have I had issues with her?
At the end of the day, all your decisions are going to be based on your ewe.
Yeah, absolutely. The problem is I'm trying to show you guys stuff and I don't have a lot of data over onto Flockwatch yet. So this is going to take, like it's taken me almost 8 years probably with the Gallagher to create enough of a history. So we're at the point now where it's like, how am I going to transfer all that data over to this? But I think for the next 3 or 4 years, there's just going to be some back and forth for reference. So if I have a question on a ewe, I'll use what I have on Flockwatch, but I'm probably going to have to double check on my Gallagher on stuff prior to 2022.
Don't worry, Sandy, before you go, I'm going to have you all sorted. You're going to
Okay, perfect. He's promising. All right, so the last thing we're going to look at, and this is new, and I think this is going to be pretty cool for anybody that is doing numerous breedings in a year, like me. They've created a breeding group, which is actually what they're doing right now. So we're going to pretend that we don't have any of these used in my system at all. This is the first time through. This is her first breeding group, and we're going to decide what group she goes into. Yeah. And then we can show a breeding event then, exactly.
Okay. And you go in, press the orange plus button.
Okay, we're going to press the orange plus.
And you're going to say create group.
Create group.
Yeah, and so you're going to title it and just...
what do we want to put here?
Say.
Breeding group. Breeding. What did I say this was? Group 3? It's a group 3. 2. Who cares? Doesn't matter. We'll say group 3. And then, do I say sort animals by tag number?
Some people want to by tag number, some people want to by age, depending on it.
We'll do tag.
You can put a little description in there if you want. You don't have to either.
Yeah, I won't put anything there because it's just for experiment.
Yeah. So now basically you just use your scanner and
scan I'll scan the girls just in this system right here. He does, because I remember him putting everything into a group when I first watched that video. So we're going to go animals selected?
Yeah, so you can just have a double check then so you're happy with how many animals selected, and then you just press save.
Press save.
So that's your group created then.
Okay, breeding group 3. Now what do I do for...
So if you want to say I've selected a certain ram or rams for this group.
So these are all group 2 rams.
Perfect.
So where do I enter that?
So you go into orange, always the orange plus button is your, when you want to enter a record.
Even from this page, or do I have to be at home?
No, from any page, you can always go from that there. So you
go
into mating record.
Mating record.
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
So
date to let in use, so today's date there. And it gives the estimated lambing date.
Exactly, yeah.
That's cool. And then RAM use, this is where I'd say group 2.
That would have been in there at that point, so you can just come back out and leave it as blank.
Oh, I see.
Yeah. And then if you would use the rattle for the RAM, you could put it in.
You would put the color. Link to the tag numbers.
Yeah, so we can do it both ways. If you don't want to link to tag numbers, you can just create a group and say, I have 50 O's with that RAM, and off you go then. If you want to put in a group description there at that point again.
Spell it right. Just like that.
That's it.
Next.
Then,
so it doesn't let me go because I don't have a RAM used.
Yeah, exactly. Press the plus button there again.
Plus.
You can create a RAM on the fly here as you go then.
So there's a little bit of both. We'll just say they're brought in.
Yeah. And you can create then, so you have the RAM.
Oh, you're right, because none of my RAMs are in here right now.
Exactly, yeah. So
but if they were, they would show up.
So that list would only show your RAMs. Yeah. So what's happened then, when you get to the end of the breeding task then, that your RAM is going to be selected, your group is going to be selected. So you just go in and select breeding group 2 or 3, then you save it. So what's going to happen then is you're going to have that record saved against the ewes for breeding, and you'll also have a due to lamb list. So then you can click
really
on,
nice.
Exactly, yeah. So you can just go in and click on your due to lamb list, and then it's going to have a countdown on the days to when that one is due.
A lot of you have asked, so I want Michael to answer, how does this marry with a lot of these genetic improvement software that's already available for that people are already using? So in Canada, we have a thing called Genovis. So they're able to compare their stock with the same breed from all the farmers that participate in it. So it's like it's benchmarking, and then they can rank themselves and how they're improving genetically with other people that are part of the program. So how does your system marry to those things? Is it all just through Excel? Like you'll just download everything to a spreadsheet and fire it off to Genovis or whatever flock improvement company you're working with?
Yeah, well, that's one way we can do it. Like, and we've in the past with our cattle one as well, we have linked in the back end with some of these genetic groups as well, where we send the data over. But like this, from that, you'll be able to pull down a report in Excel for your best performing ewes, or your best lambs with the average daily gain, or which ram has been the best for you this year with their most amount of days, or least amount of days to market. And you can send that off then if you're linked with them, and they should be able to take that data easily and upload it.
All right, well, we're going to run out of battery here. That's almost half an hour, so thank you for doing that. Thank you for coming.
Well, it's great to be here. Great to meet you in person.
So you guys, check out Flockwatch. The app is now available in Canada and the US. This is not sponsored, by the way. So
it's a pleasure, Sandy. Like
they did let me use this though, so that's pretty amazing. And I get some pretty nice swag and some Irish whiskey, so that's pretty cool. But he may have to stay overnight because it's literally a snowstorm outside.